Alright everybody, so I just barely won a game against an expert at this game. We were forced to play each other in this tournament. You can see here how the tournament has kind of gone already. Initially, there I was, and AUF was my opponent, and so they moved on in the ranks, beating MTR for Brina, beating Scarlet 93, beating 19 Max 91, and then there I am facing off against AUF. And the way that AUF actually beat, or won against a lot of the previous opponents, was they would build their wonders very quickly, actually. And when I saw that happening, that got me excited. And so I actually looked into AUF's games, previous games, even ones not in this tournament, and I said, if I'm going to win this Pantheon tournament, because I like Pantheon, and I like to be the first place in these Pantheon tournaments when I can, then I need to know if AUF is going to be always doing that. And it turns out that even in Pantheon expansion, AUF was quickly building their wonders. And so I thought, okay, I need to just play in a certain style that them building their wonders early will be a detriment to them. And thankfully that style is the science game, so if somebody builds all their extra turn wonders very quickly, you can win in a science game. I did not start the game. I was at a serious resource disadvantage through the whole game, and really required them to not reveal any cards to me until I had enough coins to spend a bunch of coins on science. So I was at AUF's mercy a lot of the game. But I'm about to go through the replay of the game. Just a couple things about the tournament first. Super Remiel continuously wins this Pantheon tournament. Like very many times Super Remiel will win it. Super Remiel got beat by Plopzido, though. Coming from a different branch of this tree, not AUF's tree, obviously, not their own little branch. They beat out Super Remiel, and then they also beat out a whole nother branch of great players, I'd assume. Romas Vasjejin fought Plopzido, and is now I am to face Plopzido myself instead of Super Remiel. I played Super Remiel a couple times and lost many times against Super Remiel, but Plopzido here. Now, this video I'm kind of going to dedicate to how to look at a... Thank you, Nikki. We'll play at Yokohama. But before that, we need to finish this video up and go to Plopzido's page, and yeah, dedicating this video to how to analyze a player's playstyle. So just like I did with AUF, I'm going to look at Plopzido's game statistics. Their 68% win rate, and that doesn't really mean too much. Here's an important thing. I look at if they've ever broken 500 before. That's important to look at, I think. And then I look at their how they compare with the average players and myself to each of the victory conditions. So civilian victory 32, science supremacy 27%, and then my science is around 50% win rate. Military 9%, and political supremacy 3%. So political supremacy, that means they play the Agora expansion enough. And then, yeah, so very similar to how most players play for the civilian victory and the military, but a little extra in science. So this person probably is pretty good in Pantheon. The way I can tell that is I can look at their divinities compared to average players. So divinities activated 3.68, average players 3. So they might play with the Pantheon expansion a little more than average. And when they do, they grab the divinities a little more than average. So, yeah, but here's the real thing. I look at the past few games, because how they've been playing most recently is going to be how they're going to play against me. It's not like I need to look at one of their first games when they were a 100 level player. Also, I look at any games that I've played against them. 0 hits on one game, and if it has no game history, that means it's a current game that's going on right now. So, you know, likely I could play a move in our game right now, or it's their turn. Another thing, the last guy I beat, Alf, just barely, expert at Seven Wonders tool, Alf started the game, and having a first player advantage does help, especially to get a lot of those stage 1 resources. So let's just look at one that they won, not that they lost. Well, let's look at a loss then a win. So here is a replay of it, and then we're going to do it from Plopsito's vantage point. And I am videoing from my my wife's car, actually. This is not mine, but we switched cars today because I'm in front of a water park right now where my daughter's playing. So, so the first thing, Plopsito didn't start the game, so that doesn't help them, and they're not going to get the best of those 2 first turns, or those extra turns. However, they're going to have 2 to 1, so I think I favor Plopsito's position here. And Plopsito, we'll zoom in here. Plopsito is going to take probably gold, or yellow. Take a yellow, and then I'd imagine taking a science. Pick the other science. I'd imagine at Plopsito it'd be good to do. Don't want to take that 1 coin brick, hoping to make them reveal cards, because not letting your opponent get a science advantage is even more important. And don't lose the coin. They're at a little bit of a disadvantage as far as resources. Yeah, a huge disadvantage now. That's unfortunate. And now, if I'm Reckless Clam, I'm really liking my position, because every resource is being revealed to Reckless Clam. And now Reckless Clam is moving on to manufactured resources, only missing glass in the first stage. Now, I like Plopsito's amount of gold that they have. Will Reckless Clam use the extra turn to take the first turn in H2? They will, and that leaves them vulnerable, because now they have no extra turns for the rest of the game, leaving Plopsito open to possibly a science victory with Law being out there, and being able to abuse 2 extra turns to potentially get 2 extra green cards. They're at 1 of 6. This could be an all-in in science right now. It's very much yellow-green. Yellow-green. Okay, wow. Okay, so that extra turn was not really well played, I feel. They used, well, I don't know. They used it to get a, so they would not only get a resource, but they would get first dibs on the next things. However, Reckless Clam has theology, and that was unfortunate. They just have so much now. Okay, so Plopsito used their extra turn to do that. I would have saved the extra turn, especially if my opponent has theology and is able to pull that trick. So Plopsito is using all their extra turns right now just to grab science cards, I guess. Okay. And is there a discarded science? There is, so they can grab that science from the discard pile. Ooh. Yeah, but they really missed out. Really missed out on the getting 4 science. I think they could have pulled it off to get 4 science, especially against a player like Reckless Clam, who pretty much gave them the like let them have the extra turn advantage and used up all their wonders early on. So being aware, I think Plopsito needs to here be aware that their opponent was very wonder happy, and just played way too many wonders. Yeah. Yeah, could have just not used their extra turns and let their opponent use the extra turns up. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Missing out on Law there. So, let's look at the points. I've been covering up their points the whole game, thinking it was a science victory, but looks like it's going to come down to points here. Reckless Clam, 18 coins and 41 points. Plopsito, 6 coins and 34 points. It's just going to be barely. Reckless Clam's going to be taking it with points, I'd imagine. Yeah, because military is not going to happen for Plopsito. They're going to get close, but they're not going to have the coins to be able to. Oh, wait. Yeah. Reckless Clam took the right one. Since they took that middle one, a military victory could not be achieved by Plopsito. Had Reckless Clan taken the other one, I believe then that leaves Plopsito winning in military. So, hey, Plopsito knows how to set themselves up for both military and science. It looks like they go for science more. We knew that from the stats, and we know that now from this game. But they really do a good job at competing in the points. So now we will go back and look at Plopsito from and this is doing double work for me. I'm able to look at Plopsito in real time and get a YouTube video out of this. So win-win here. Here's one where Plopsito wins, and let's view the game replay. Looking from Plopsito. I really want to look at one that has Pantheon. I wish there's a way to quickly look. You see, this one isn't Pantheon either. Yeah, I wonder, can we go back and see how they play Pantheon, though? Yeah, so let's see. Game replays where they played Pantheon expansion. There's no real way to tell here. I just am going to grab random ones. So here, is this a Pantheon? No. Okay, yeah, that's how I'll tell. It just says no or yes. Okay. Barry Berkman? Playing against Barry Berkman. Was this just a Pantheon? No. There's not going to be very many just Pantheons. Let's do a see more. I could just look at one previous in the tournament, so looking at if they ever fought Super Remiel. Yeah, let's see that game. So Plopsito fighting Super Remiel, and how they did it. So I think that'll be the most important one to watch, because I have a lot of difficulty beating Super Remiel myself. And Plopsito is a wild card. I don't know much about Plopsito, unfortunately. So, let's dive into this game. And with just the Pantheon expansion, we're going to go to the end of the game. Plopsito takes the right wonder, and Plopsito starts the game, so I wonder if that had something to do with why Plopsito beat such a great player like Super Remiel. I mean, they're both great players, obviously. They've both been finalists for Pantheon expansion tournaments. Taking yellow cards, I'd imagine that's the right way to go about it, whether you're a 300 level player or a 500 level player. I think any level player is going to be wanting to grab those. And nobody wants to reveal 2 cards, but somebody's going to be able to get a science card out of it, and potentially grab a good card from 2 great cards, or they're all bad. But I'd imagine they're both going to be good. Okay, because I see 3 red cards out there, and so if it's not going to be a red card, you know, it might be good. And I see a blue card. Okay, so Plopsito already with the yellow lead, and that's important to have, to grab more yellow cards than your opponent, so that they are not getting very many coins when they discard, whereas you're getting more coins. Even a 1 yellow lead is important in H1. Okay, Super Remiel going for science. Super Remiel's beat me a couple times in science. And then Plopsito, what way are they trying to work the game? And there's law out there as well. So, a very good chance that that Super Remiel, if I didn't know that Plopsito was going to win, Super Remiel would be the one I would be favoring, just because of the science advantage they're going to have. Now, Super Remiel used an extra turn, I think a little too early. Oh, I know why they're doing it, too. They are trying to have enough gold to grab Ra, and they're going to rely on Hades to be able to take that science later on, but Ra is more important to them. Okay, taking Piraeus as the extra turn instead of the Divine Theater, and that's because the Divine Theater is not as useful because Hades is already gone. However, they could use Divine Theater to grab Nisaba and copy the science symbol of Plopsito. Now, I'm wondering when Hades will be used by Super Remiel to grab that discarded science card. That'll be kind of important to grab. I imagine I could put my camera right here, and it would be just fine because Plopsito is not grabbing any red cards. Ooh, looks like there was a red card grabbed right there. So, yeah, Plopsito grabbing some science, competing with Super Remiel, and somebody used Hades. Super Remiel used Hades to grab that science symbol. I knew that would happen. I at least had a strong feeling for that. And then, man, Piraeus is going to cost 12 when Super Remiel finally does it. I hope they do it when it's an opportune time and they can use that the resource advantage Piraeus gives, plus take a science symbol they need, aka that last one that's right there in H2. Now, Plopsito takes Law, gonna make it tougher for Super Remiel to do it. There are 3 Mesopotamian gods out there. It's really luck of the draw for whoever grabs the gate in grabbing science. Hoping to get Law if you're Super Remiel, or Nisaba, and if you're Plopsito, hoping to grab Nisaba. Okay, taking from Mesopotamia with the Divine Theater and grabbing, I'd imagine, Nisaba. Yep, and then took that. Now it's at 5 to 6 symbols. Incredible. Okay, Super Remiel now just needs to get a luck of the draw and grab Law, and then they will be at 4 symbols. Plopsito has no extra turns left, but just needs 1 science symbol to win. Super Remiel is going to need to use that extra turn if they want to win to block a science victory. Points are very low. Super Remiel at 11 coins, 8 points. Plopsito at 6 coins, 11 points. It could be anybody's game. Super Remiel takes a science, being at 4 of 6 symbols. And now here's the risky part. Super Remiel is going to have to reveal a card, or looks like they spend a bunch to use the a god card, Minerva. And actually they spent 8 coins. No, they only spent 6 because they had the Sanctuary. Being very careful to try not to reveal any green cards. 1 green card lets Plopsito win. I imagine the game does go... Oh! Takes the gate, grabs Anubis, and then gives themselves an extra turn, and then Super Remiel is done for. Super Remiel cannot win. Plopsito going to have enough coins to take the final science symbol, and doesn't even worry about it. Just doesn't even need to use the extra turn. Just takes it, and that is game for Plopsito. Very nice. There was some scary military pushing in there that I didn't even focus on. Okay, so Plopsito is going to be a dangerous opponent. It'll be fun to face them off in the finals here. But I just wanted to go over a couple things here. So they they know how to use Anubis. They know how to use, they will use Bale or Ball. I don't like using Ball, so if somebody knows that about me, they won't be as afraid. They know how to use Nisaba. For Neptune, it looks like they don't know how to use Neptune. So that is a key thing. I'll put Neptune on Plopsido's side. It looks like Plopsido still has both of their military tokens. That's not good. If you played Neptune, then you should have gotten rid of your own military tokens, and that didn't happen. I wish I knew the timestamp in the video when that they actually used Neptune, but when you're using Neptune, use your own 2 tokens. Discard the 2 coin crusher, and then for no effect, and then discard the 5 coin for effect, and that won't hurt yourself, that will hurt the opponent. So Plopsido doesn't know that trick. I'll play that on them, and then I'll be careful of Ball. I will not let them take Anubis. They're willing to buy the gate. Some players won't buy the gate. It's very expensive and they don't understand the rules for it. Or they don't understand the probabilities, or they just don't want to play the luck game with that. It's very expensive to do. Because that could have not been Anubis. That could have been the other one, the weaker of the 2. Yeah, that was really fun, like going through a game, and I want to do this more. But here, like I said, it played off two different things for myself. One, I got to do a YouTube video out of it, and 2, I get to see how I'm gonna beat Plopsido. If it had come down to points, yeah, I guess I would give it to maybe Plopsido. They're gonna have 5 extra points with the temple, and then they're gonna have some points from the military that aren't calculated. So they're sitting at 23 plus 9 coins, and then they could also grab Mausoleum and grab a high point card, maybe, yeah, one of the temples for an extra 7. So ultimately, that is it. We'll just stop it right there, and thank you so much for watching.